And then he dug himself out with the frozen turd.
Yeah, I want to hear this story.
What are you doing here, Mindy? There's this Dutch adventurer. He was 6'7". He's the real most interesting man in the world. I forget his name because he's Dutch.
So even if you did remember, you wouldn't be able to say it.
Yes, but he went on all kind of Arctic explorations and all kinds of crazy shit like that. But he was so manly. One time, he had I think it was either a boat or one of those dog sleds, because he did a lot of dog sledding. It was one of those, one of the two. And there was like an avalanche that fell on top of him, and he got buried under the boat and or dog sled, and he was freezing to death. And the only way to get out of the situation was to poop, and then the poop froze, and he dug himself out with the frozen turd, and then he had to cut off his own toes because they were black.
I want to know. Well, first of all, there's a couple things to unfold there. I want to know what past life experiences that he had that he could figure out. Like, if I take a shit right now, let it go for a sec, then I could do it hardens. I could use it as a. As a carving thing. Yeah. And then, did he also use that frozen poop to cut off the toes?
No, he used, I think, rusty pliers and, some kind of bludgeon to, hammer them off.
Like, all of them?
Yeah, I think so. I'm butchering this. I saw it on YouTube, so I don't remember this guy's life story. I watched it in a haze. But he married an Inuit woman, lived with some kind of Eskimo tribe of sorts. Again, he was 6'7". I think there was a story of him carrying something unnecessarily heavy at one point, and he was a best-selling author and wrote all kinds of books, and he just lived the best life. Look this guy up. The poop story alone will get you. If you Google the poop story, you'll find the man.
Now, you're saying that he lived the best life, but he had to dig himself out with shit, his own shit, and then had to cut his toes off afterwards.
Yeah, but for a guy like that, I feel like that would be the best thing ever.
I guess, I don't like where I'm at now, but I think I would almost rather work where I'm at than have to use my own feces to...
Would you really, though? Think about the story you could write after that.
I suppose, but would you write that story, though?
I'd write the fuck out of that story. I think his name was... Yeah, I think this is the guy. Peter Freuchen. Oh, yeah, that's a manly fucker. He had a big beard, too. Of course he did.
Yeah.
Of course he did. Yeah, Peter Freuchen. He was Danish. He Arctic explorer, author, journalist, anthropologist. I think he was an archaeologist, too, at some point. He did everything. He was a gigantic man. And I don't think his Wikipedia is going to do him any favors here, because he did too much cool shit. I can't even read it all. He did more.
It makes you feel shitty about yourself.
He was even more like how Hemingway, when I think about Hemingway's life, he did more in a 10-year span than I ever will do
in your entire life. And that's that's back then when it was super hard to do anything. Yeah. It's so easy to do stuff now.
Well, Hemingway, you know him as a famous author, but he fucking, African bush pilot. He flew through Africa, was on all kinds of adventures and shot up Nazis.
Yeah.
He's just a man can dream. Hey there, folks.
Your mommy just said a very bad word.
You are listening, not we. You. This is going to be an off-rails episode. You are listening to the Drunken Panda Writing Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb James. With me today is Spencer, and this name I did not give him. Somebody in the room gave him. I will not mention her name. But it was a lady who came up with this. Spencer, the California Cake Cunt Church. I don't know what that means exactly. No. Are you a cake that looks like a vagina? I guess.
Or do I make cakes that look like vaginas?
Should have been cunt cake.
Cunt cake.
California cunt cake.
That would have been better, but I kind of think cake cunt hit harder.
Yeah.
Regardless, this episode has no topic, as you probably got from the cold open. Spencer, Punch Mindy in the face. Let's get some.
Whoa.
Mindy, give us a topic real quick.
About what?
Anything.
Yeah.
Animals.
Animals, man. Did you hear about giraffes, man? They got long necks.
Yeah. Oh, you know what the cool thing about animals are? Shitting without wiping.
I would love to be able to take a number 2,
and like a
pull
good
up trowel, and just walk away.
like a good healthy number 2. Like when you go, and especially you guys have probably seen in all the hiking you guys have been doing. I'm sure you've seen some scat some places.
Some scat for sure. That's what we call animal. That's what animal poop's called, scat,
Oh.
and also German porn. Scheiße. Scheiße. You ever watched any healthy Scheiße porn, Mindy? She lives a very sheltered life.
Yeah. No matter how hard you try to introduce these things to her.
You gotta learn.
Just give her 5 minutes with your search history.
It'll make it so... Well, she might be disgusted by me, but I feel like it would make me seem way less weird than she perceives me.
Or might make you seem even weirder.
Oh, yeah, if you just tell me search history. Hey, Mindy, remember that time not too long ago where you made our whole kitchen stink and you got mad at me about it?
It smelled like, what was it?
Ass.
Chicken?
Canned chicken, but it smelled like...
Can asshole.
It kind of smelled like, to use the word that she used,
Ooh.
I would imagine it smelled like catfish cunt.
Ooh, wow.
Very fishy. That's a harsh word.
Yeah, it is a harsh word.
Like,
here it is.
Yeah. I think we should change the word. It shouldn't be catfish anymore. It should be, pussyfish. Whoa!
I
Easy.
didn't do it. It's fine.
No, you're almost done with your other drink.
Yeah.
I feel like my drink's never ending, but I keep filling it
I
up.
said, you have to work tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, you do have to work tomorrow, Mindy, don't you?
Yeah, 8 a.m.
I mean, you don't.
It's okay. This tape just has no flavor.
The flavor of the beer does not equate the alcohol. Like, it has no bearing on the alcohol content.
Flavor has the most slow. You know what you say about the flavor, right?
You know it doesn't have a lot of flavor? Vodka. You know, we could get you a microphone. You could be on the podcast. I have a third mic that we never got to use yet.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stink
I
like
don't
these
have
ones.
anything to say. I wouldn't have anything to say.
Tell us a rousing story about your youth.
I gotta let the dog out.
All right. Who let the dogs out?
Mindy.
Mindy. I feel so bad because anybody listening, they have no idea who these people are.
No, they have no context for
They barely
anything.
know who we are.
No.
Like, if you just...
Hey!
Yes?
Yeah.
I wonder if Nitro got any followers from your one podcast.
I couldn't tell you.
I mean...
I don't remember what episode that was.
Didn't we tell them to use a hashtag or something?
What's his Instagram? Nitro_the_husky on Instagram. Check him out. He's fancy.
Let us know if you found them out from here. So
Somebody randomly on Twitter, it was under one of my fucking tweets, was just like, I love your dog. And the only thing I could respond with was, yes, he's very, or like, thank you. He's very,
awesome.
he's much more popular than I ever will be.
How does it make you feel?
I'm okay with that. I mean, he's cuter than me,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
He doesn't have a drinking problem.
Cleaner asshole.
Well, that's debatable.
Depends.
Depends. I mean, sometimes I wipe. You don't know this about me, but I can expand my butthole to infinite distances.
Oh yeah.
Did he do anything? I feel like that was very quick.
Yeah, that wasn't very long. That seemed like I needed to sober up for a minute. So let's go outside where it's cold.
No, I don't like...
Oh, shit, she's hitting the tap again.
Again?
Hitting the keg again.
What, you gonna drink this whole thing tonight?
No, I wasn't. But I mean,
I guess we all know.
You drink a whole keg in one night. Go ahead.
I was like,
Be my guest.
that's something you would do.
It is, but that doesn't mean that you would do it.
The taste.
You can have as much of the flavorless beer you want. And when you're passed out drunk and have to work at 7 a.m. We should have a topic for this episode of some kind. So, Spencer, how do you feel about Joker becoming the all-time most profitable comic book movie ever made.
I mean, it's a good movie, so I'm alright with it.
It only cost $62 million to make, and they've made almost $1 billion. And it's a very good movie. That makes me happy, though, because I think that means that a lot of movies moving, like the comic book movies going into the future, especially DC comic movies, might go towards that more serious, more almost indie film type of style.
And I mean, I like it too that it might open the door up for other characters that you maybe not necessarily would think would get a movie. Mm-hmm. But you know, just give them that kind of chance. It doesn't even have to necessarily be like the realistic, but it's like, I mean, even Marvel's kind of done it with like the Ant-Man movies. Like, they're not expensive as like, you know, like in the Captain America movie, but right. You know, they're a little bit not as cheap as the Joker was, but you know, cheaper in comparison to those, and then still earn a good amount of money. But you know, you get a chance to throw out these kind of characters that on, you know.
Well, the thing is, like, if you think of, for instance, Endgame, yeah, obviously, you know, it's $1 billion plus movie, but it costs a shitload of money to make. Yeah. What does it cost? Like $250-300 million? I'm just guessing, but it's got to be up there because, you know, all the CGI and stuff. But then also, what people always ignore is how much marketing. Usually, the marketing is double. Oh, but then again, like an Endgame probably doesn't need a lot of marketing. No. I would imagine. But then they have like the toy line, and so the money comes in from all different angles.
And it was a year, like a decade in the making, to get to that.
I would like to stop this podcast, complete halt, just to point out that Mindy's mother gave us some kind of fucking donuts and some other snacks, and she was like, oh, I'm going to get rid of this. There's no way I would ever eat this. And she has the bag open and is just eating donuts, and also she needs to give me a donut.
I won't eat these.
What are those?
There's Swiss rolls. Fucking ho-hos.
Ho-hos?
Do you like that?
Who the fuck calls them Swiss rolls? It's a ho-ho.
Well, I think because it's not the bread, like...
I don't want the whole bag.
It's not Hibiscus, it's Little Debbie.
Little Debbie's a hoe.
Yeah, for sure.
It hits so much harder when you're drinking flavorless beer.
Them cocaine donuts.
Nom 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 nom.
Powdered donut?
I will take a powder.
Nom nom nom. Spencer will eat that fuck out of a
donut. I one time fucked up and ate up like a whole bag of one of these things and did not feel good in the morning.
I remember this man used to find them in the parking lot and he would just stick them right up his butthole. Like,
I like glazed better.
I don't glazed donuts. You know what I like? Cocaine. I've never done cocaine. Have you, Mindy? No. I know people who've done cocaine.
Obviously.
I'd be scared. I don't want to do that. I don't want to look like Artie Lang.
Kevin Benson did cocaine.
I know he did. People on here don't know who the fuck Kevin Benson is. It's the local weatherman. Anybody interested? The Pittsburgh local weatherman got in trouble for doing cocaine and got DUI. Also, speaking of the Joker, I just love that they actually, on South Park, the last episode, did create a Mexican Joker.
Yeah.
Great.
The whites.
He had sunscreen on. He was Mexican Joker.
No one cares about the whites.
Nobody cares about the whites. Oh, boy, howdy. But going back to the more serious Joker talk. I am, like you said, how they're going to go into other characters. I don't know how I feel about the whole Batman they're doing, because I feel like there's a lot of characters involved. But I do like the casting of the Riddler. That, I forget his name, something Dano.
Yeah.
But that dude seems perfect. I don't really care for Colin Farrell as the Penguin.
That seems really off. That does not seem right at all.
But if you remember him from Horrible Bosses, with the prosthetics and the way he was acting in that, he might be able to pull it off.
If we go that way, the prosthetics, you know who I want to see? Tom Cruise.
Tropic Thunder style?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It took me so long to figure out that was actually, like, I did not know
he did such a good job.
Like, I was like, who is this guy?
It's hilarious,
and I think, like, it was the credits, and I was just like, oh my fucking god, did I actually like a movie, like a Tom Cruise character?
I forget
but there's Matthew McConaughey as Harvey Dent is like a rumor.
I don't like that. I don't want Matthew McConaughey in Batman. I don't want Harvey Dent in Batman, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do Riddler, maybe even Penguin. I but I would rather have like Clayface, some other villains. But they're doing a Catwoman too. They got Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman.
Well, the rumor is it's gonna be like kind of based off the Long Halloween.
Okay, that might be cool. Again, if it's not, I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. It's probably not going to be the DC universe. It's like a separate thing, but I'm fine with that. I like the Zoe Kravitz casting. Yeah. So I think she'll do a good job.
No, I don't really remember seeing her in anything. I don't know how her acting is.
She's pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, she's not. She'll be a serviceable Catwoman. I don't know if she'll be Eartha Kitt-like, but she'll be all right.
I just hope they don't try to go like Halle Berry like outfit.
I don't think so. It seems like it's gonna be a more serious movie.
You mean good movie?
Who was that guy they cast for Gordon? I don't remember what he was from. Because everybody was talking about it, but I didn't recognize him. Like I don't remember seeing him in anything.
Sure, yeah, I can't remember.
Well, let me look it up real quick. Because
I think that one I was kind of like, I don't know. Like I can't remember who it was, but now that you bring it up, I thought my immediate action was like,
Yeah, well, that was one that was kind of like I said. I didn't know who that guy was because it's kind of like I feel like there's been some solid Commissioner Gordons in the previous Batman movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's only really one because the fat guys in the Tim Burton and the other one, that wasn't good.
Okay, you would actually know him. I wouldn't because I haven't seen these.
Oh,
Jeffrey Wright from Westworld.
Yeah. Oh.
And he was in Shaft, and that's the only movies we know.
And then there was also oh shit, what's his face for Alfred?
Oh, I didn't like that casting either. Andy Sudeikis. Serkis. Yeah. Sudeikis is from SNL. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, completely.
Andy Serkis, but I mean, he did a good job in Black Panther. So I know his acting is serviceable, but I guess he could play it.
What they're gonna go with like the hard like Cogni like X like
military
spy that kind of route, rather than like, may I make you some crumpets, sir?
See, that's hard because my Alfred is the Michael Caine type of Alfred.
Yeah,
like that's what I think of. But yeah, if it's the badass, fighting Alfred, that's perfect. Actually, I could see that. I think you'd do a good job. What about, I think we briefly touched on this in previous episodes, but how do you feel about the Robert Pattinson Batman? I want to see the fucking Lighthouse, but it's not playing anywhere near here. And we're going to Pittsburgh this weekend, and guess what? Stop playing.
Oh, really?
It was only for a week and a half or something.
But
he looks like he does an amazing job in that, and I heard his acting is really, really good in a lot of movies now. So, I mean, it's hard to say because the only thing I ever seen him in was Twilight, really.
Yeah.
But, my main concern with him is just his physique and his fighting, but he is getting the John Wick, the people who train Keanu Reeves, like the jiu-jitsu fighting style. That's who's training Robert Pattinson. So I think he will be all right with that. What is his physique going to be like?
Is it typecasting that he played, like he's most famous for a vampire, and now he's Batman? Is that typecasting? Is that,
No.
No?
He's played a bunch of other stuff.
Alright.
Just nobody sees him.
But I'm saying his most famous though.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's such a shitty.
I guess he was one of the kids in the early Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, he's the one that died.
Yeah.
He's a ghost or something. I forget. I didn't watch those movies, but I know that he was in them as some kind of dead kid.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but I think it should be okay. I mean,
but here's the thing though, because people are like, you got to get jacked to be Batman. Which is true if you go by comics, but Michael Keaton wasn't jacked.
No.
He was a good Batman.
He also couldn't turn his head, so it kind of made him look jacked.
When you can't turn your neck.
But people hated Keaton, too. Because it was like Mr. Mom as Batman.
Yeah. And honestly, this might be controversial, but I thought Val Kilmer was an alright Batman.
Yeah.
I didn't think he did I thought he was a good job. I mean...
The
movies were a little goofy, but I thought they were pretty...
The Val Kilmer and Clooney Batman movies, those don't fall on them. There's a lot wrong with those movies that have nothing to do with those guys.
Now, going for the George Clooney Batman, Bruce Wayne, yes, but Batman, I don't think... I don't believe George Clooney beating up people.
Yeah.
I didn't really... But if they did the Master Detective Batman, I think he would have been alright. Just like the Kung Fu George Clooney. Because George Clooney never came off as like an action guy. Even Val Kilmer, I can see him maybe because he's a real method actor. He can get into
Well,
that.
then he's done like action-y kind of movies, like big budget kind of, back in the day when he was, he was a big star.
Another controversial opinion, I didn't think Christian Bale was that great of a Batman. I mean, he was, physique-wise, he was good, and the fighting and stuff, but I hated the Batman voice, and I didn't think he was that great of a Bruce Wayne.
I think the reason he gets most prop is because he's in the better movies. Yeah. Those movies are far better movies than the previous movies. But yeah, I don't think his Batman, and it's also like his suit is really weird, and the voice thing he could have done differently. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, people probably know how Bruce Wayne sounds, so you don't want to sound like Bruce Wayne.
He didn't have to sound like he was taking a shit after like 3 weeks of not being able to shit. Like, it was just it was too gruff and unnecessary.
Which I like with the Affleck one, they just gave him like a voice modulator,
which was great.
Yeah. I'm so mad he didn't at least get a solo Batman movie.
Yeah, because honestly, as an older Batman, I felt like that was actually, he did probably the best job as being Bruce Wayne and a believable Batman.
Yeah.
I thought he was really good.
It was just the writing in those two movies and all that were just fucking terrible.
And it crushed his soul, and now he has all this Botox in his face, so he doesn't look good anymore.
Yeah, like those what was wrong with those is like the writing and stuff wasn't Batman. He couldn't,
Again, why can't we have Master Detective Batman?
Yeah. Like,
fucking make him some smarts. Throw some smarts in the man. Like, Christian Bale's Batman I got my back broken by Bane by fighting him, so my solution of my master intellect is just to fist fight him again.
Yeah. Or like, wait, let me get punched in the spine until it gets fixed.
Yeah.
And then go fight him again.
That's not how spines work. Going back to the Christian Bale Batman, too, his Batman, I think really what overshined him, too, was his surrounding cast. So obviously,
because
Liam Neeson, Heath Ledger, the guy who played Harvey Dent was amazing.
Because, Batman Begins was kind of I don't want to say soft, but, it wasn't, it didn't make all this money, and it was all that. But the second one, Dark Knight...
That's what everybody remembers, The Dark Knight.
And the only reason that is, and I would be interested in, if he didn't die, I would want to know what that box office would be like. Yeah. You know what I mean? And all that, if he didn't die.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Well,
unfortunately, I think that had a lot to play into that.
What I liked about that Batman trilogy was the realism, his, instead of just having this goofy, long, phallus-like Batmobile, it was like a
tank,
military vehicle. Yeah, so all that stuff was really well done, and it was more realistic. But again, if they made him more, detective-like, that would have been cooler. And two, if Heath Ledger had lived, he would have been in the third one. I think it would have been a vastly better movie.
At some point, he might not have been a focal point, but he definitely would have showed up.
Yeah, that movie was just... it felt almost cobbled together.
Because, if you sprinkle out the Scarecrow throughout 3 movies, you're definitely going to have the Joker in the third one for something.
What I really disliked, too, was that the Scarecrow, who had a really significant role by the third one, was just there.
Yeah.
It was kind of stupid. He could have been really cool. And he was a very cool character. And then, we go to the Ben Affleck Batman, and like you said, just the writing, and he was underused. He was just kind of there to prop up, a Superman movie.
I always use this example when it comes to the way that how they fucked up Batman in that movie, is whenever they bring Superman back, and they're like, oh man, it must really been bad that if you brought me back, and he's talking to Batman, and Batman's like, I do not like you.
Yeah.
Batman would never say that.
They threw that in, and it was awful.
He would look at him, and he would grunt. He'd be like, Ugh. And you'd still get the same, comedy, people would have laughed at that. You would have got the exact same thing that you would have wanted out of this huge, something that would have been in, a teen movie or something.
To just tell you how they fucked up Batman versus Superman, Justice League, and everything... All they had to do was when they brought Superman back from the dead, have him have a mullet.
Yeah.
It would have made sense
That's
because, his hair grew and shit. He could have had a mullet and everyone was like, fucking great.
And if you would have gave him the mullet...
Didn't even have to be that long. He could have cut it eventually.
But if you gave him the mullet, that would also give you an excuse to keep the mustache on. Mm-hmm. And not to have that weird CGI upper lip in that one scene where he's just like...
That was awful.
When he's like... And it's really bad whenever he's having like that interview with the kid on the camera that served no purpose.
Yeah.
You did not need that in the movie whatsoever.
What really upset me is Henry Cavill was my favorite Superman by far. Because
he was a good Superman.
I feel like a lot of people shit on it because he wasn't the happy-go-lucky Boy Scout. But that's why I liked it.
Yeah.
Because he was like a modern Superman. Because if you're given like crazy superpowers, you're not just gonna be like, well, I'm just gonna save her. But, like,
you're not gonna be truth, justice, and the American way. You're gonna be like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
And
how am I gonna do it?
Yeah, and he worked his way up to that, but nobody wanted to give him a chance. Like physically, he was good Superman. He looks like a fucking Superman, and I think he's a pretty good actor. So I just feel like. The writing just could have been better. Again, we got the super director cuts and shit that are supposedly out there.
Well, you get that, yeah, with the Zack Snyder, like, that's kind of the downfall of, like, because if you look at any of the things that he's most known for, he just had a copy of this, like, Watchmen 300. The story was literally right there. He had to come up with his own kind of story for this, and you could tell that within the writing it wasn't.
Well, like when they threw in Doomsday as just a fucking plot device, that was terrible. And I didn't like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. He's so... I mean, not that he did a bad job, but I never thought of Lex Luthor as being a fucking Mark Zuckerberg millennial fucking nerd. Like, I always thought Lex Luthor was... Then again, if you read the original comics, like, doesn't he hate Superman because he made him go bald?
Yeah, it's weird,
Like, the very original Lex Luthor was kind of a nerd, but he wasn't... Jesse Eisenberg type nerd.
Yeah, because I think depending on what origin you go with, like, because, like, Smallville, that Luthor was also in, like, Smallville, and, like, he did something, and whatever Superman did caused him to lose his hair, which was, like, this red hair, so it's like, why would you want it anyways?
Let me go hard shift.
Okay.
So we could bring Mindy into the conversation for a minute. Because we were talking about Jesse Eisenberg. Zombieland 2.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. You didn't see it, right?
No, I did not.
If you like Zombieland 1, you'll like Zombieland 2. Lots of shooting zombies, but the zombies, like Ray Wank's book we read recently, are evolving.
Ooh.
There's different kinds of zombies now. They're just not the mindless, chasing down each zombies. They're like getting smarter. And I found it to be a very funny movie. What did you think, Mindy?
Obviously, because I wanted to go see it. It was my idea.
Well, I don't know what that has to do with the movie being funny.
Yeah, because I knew it was going to be good. There's a lot of romance.
You know what there is, Spencer?
Yeah.
Romance, weed, and Bill motherfucking Murray.
I heard he had it. Like, I heard he was back in it.
The after credits, it's right when the zombie apocalypse starts. It's how Bill Murray got out of wherever he was. He was giving like interviews with Al Roker or something.
Oh,
and it's how he got to wherever he gets to, and it's pretty good.
Now, like in the movie, because it's been like 10 years since like the first one came out. Has that 10 years like passed in the movie?
Yeah, because
all the kids are older and stuff now, right?
Yeah, the young girl. It's mainly about her and the youngest girl and her sister, which is Emma Stone. Emma Stone, who like Jesse Eisenberg wants to marry her, and she just what's the term? They're flighty. They kind of want to soil their royal oats. If I use Coming to America, because there's a sequel to that coming out I want to see, but they want to go out or whatever, and
they meet the younger blonde.
Yeah, because they're living in the White House. The younger one, she wants to meet a man or fucking some nonsense. So
someone her age.
Yeah, someone her age. And she does. It's a fucking hippie weed smoker who passes off Beatles songs as his own because she doesn't know any better. But it's a funny, riotous movie, and I was enjoyable. I liked it.
Speaking of the Beatles, did you see that there was a movie that came out? I think it's called like Yesterday, and it's about like for some reason only this one guy remembers the Beatles.
Yeah, that looked pretty cool.
And like, so he has to kind of like reintroduce all the Beatles songs to like everybody, and he's like getting credit for it. And like, I'm not sure like how it ends and how it goes, but it seemed like I'm not like a huge Beatles fan, but that kind of seemed like a cool kind of.
Yeah, I like that idea. What was like that Jojo Rabbit with the Hitler thing?
Yeah,
like, that looked like a really good.
I want to see that too. Or like the Knives Out with like all the people with the inheritance and
yeah, it's a modern whodunit
kind of thing. Yeah,
I would like whodunits to come back. I never. That's what we should start. That's what we should do for a book of the month. Is a classic whodunit. Like maybe Murder on the Orient Express. I never seen the movie, and obviously I haven't read. I have the book. But I'd never read it.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got your fancy Kindle now.
Yeah, maybe I can.
Maybe we should do it. Because we don't even have a book of the month this month, do we?
Probably not.
We could do a graphic novel. We got Turtles.
Total.
You want to do Turtles? I like Turtles.
I started reading Stephen King's The Outsider.
How's that?
Pretty good. I'm only like 100 pages in. So we're kind of funny starting to get into some of the weirdness of it and stuff, but I've been enjoying it. Like the movies, I think coming out in a couple, or the show's starting in a couple of months on HBO. So I wanted to get it in there real quick before the show started.
Good sir, there's something we should speak of right now
No,
that we have not talked about in the last episode or this one. How is your writing going? Are you writing anything?
not really. No excuses for it at all either.
Doing the religious.
I mean, at least
boogie.
I mean, I don't know what your answer is, but if it's no, at least you have an excuse. You've been editing things. You've been putting stuff together.
Yeah, I'm writing every day. It's not news stories, but I am editing and rewriting, and I'm actually working on my anthology story, the rewrites.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that now, and once that's done, hopefully we're fucking done with that stuff.
Who thinks Caleb should write a story about me?
Like, what I mean, now.
Do you expect somebody to answer? I mean,
my only question is, you gonna put any like caveats in how that story is? Like, are you gonna have it like be like a romance story, an erotica story? Because that could get really weird. Or like, do you want like a horror story about you? Like,
as the sweat dripped down the nape of her neck,
onto his chinless face.
Chinless?
Chinless.
And you ain't talking about me no more. I see where that's
going. I figured if you was writing an erotic story about Mindy, I figured that you wouldn't be involved. I figured it'd be some weird, like, and then they gathered around her.
Whatever.
I mean, I can write a story about you real quick.
No.
Do it now off the top of your head.
How do you feel about extreme insertions? It's going to be a horror story.
Who says it like that?
The internet?
No. Next topic.
Okay.
Hey, you brought this topic up.
Yeah, you did. You literally interrupted. You actually hopped on the mic.
over the guard. You went straight into the mic.
You didn't even use the guard. You went over to speak directly into the mic. And asked a question for the audience who won't be able to answer for 2 weeks.
You went to mouth to mic real quick. Nobody goes mouth to mic.
Nobody goes mouth to mic. And I know you use the stinky mics, but mine is the stinkiest. Oh. So as I was saying, we're going to read Shakespeare, Hamlet, for the book of the month. I don't like Shakespeare. Do you? You a big Shakespeare guy? I don't like the language.
I like the thing you posted on social media the other day through the website where you, with Shakespeare when you say author, what was it? You placed something with like all shit or something.
Alas.
Yeah, that
every time he uses alas, you put in like I think it was like oh shit or something like that.
It made it so much better.
Way better. Yes. Man. Mindy's wearing a Steelers jersey. Boo her. Boo!
The jersey for one, it's a sweatshirt, and for two, it's yours.
Mindy's wearing a Steelers hoodie that I gave her because work gave it to me for free and I don't wear them. So boo her. Boo. Boo.
Yeah.
She doesn't care. She's feeling good right now.
She's feeling real good. How good you feeling? You're smiling like the Joker.
Yeah.
You're smiling like that weird silent movie guy that inspired the Joker. Like that creepy thing. I don't know if I like that.
Not a creepy thing.
Don't you wish you could say that, Caleb? You wish you could utter those words.
Girls don't like it when you call them creepy things.
I'm not a creepy thing.
If I was to write like one of those players guides to how to get women, I would write like number 1, don't call them creepy things. They don't like that.
Wait, you think with the player guide it would be to call them a creepy thing because, you know, breaks down the defenses, making them mobile, vulnerable.
Those fucking kind of books are so ridiculous because they treat women like they're some kind of weird, mysterious object that you have to get on a quest. Like there's some kind of unattainable object. Like, no, it's just a lady. If you just talk normal, you probably can have it. Hey, let me tell you about work today, Mindy. I was delivering to a bar. I won't name it on air. And one of the girls came out looking for the manager. And she was wearing...
Who's manager? Their manager?
Yeah, their manager.
Okay.
And they were looking, or she was looking for the manager, and we were obviously delivering kegs of beer. And I was like, I don't fucking know. Fast forward about 5 minutes. We're in the kitchen now. And she's the bartender. She came back. She has very, very tight, like yoga pant tight things on that are riding up very high. And one of the African American gentlemen of the kitchen happened to yell out extremely loudly, "Girl, you got a big ass camel toe!" And she turned, not to me. I was actually not involved in this. I was the fucking moving heavy ass kegs, and I walked into the aftermath of her telling the guy I am working with. She looks at him and says, "Do I have a camel toe?" And he goes, "Yeah." And she laughs and walks away, and I think that's the end of it. And then ending the delivery, she's at the bar in front of all the patrons. And the gentleman that I am working with walks past her and goes, "By the way, I think it looks pretty good." And she laughs. I would never think to say that. And she laughs and goes, "Ee-hee, thank you." And they have some kind of rapport after that. And then we're leaving, and, you know, I'm like, "Well, I think she liked you." And he's like, "Yeah, but he goes on to state that, you know, he doesn't have the black hammer for her because everyone in that particular restaurant is with the kitchen staff and pounding and but she had the very, and she also threw out the word very loudly, moose knuckle, and this was in front of everyone in the restaurant.
No,
She 100% did.
She said she had a moose
Because
knuckle.
yeah, because she said something about her fellow employee said something about a camel toe, and she said I swear she said moose knuckle, and I was grossed out from the get-go.
First of all, time out. Quick poll. What is the better term? Moose knuckle or camel toe? Which is your preferred?
I don't like either, but it was visible. That's all I will say.
Well, I hope I don't ruin any surprise here, but did you ever give Mindy the thing from the convention that you got her?
The necklace?
Yeah. Did he tell you the story behind
How I got the discount?
Yeah, you got the discount for the necklace?
I didn't say how. I said he just got that he's like really handsome.
Yeah, the lady there was chatting.
He was there, yeah.
The lady was chatting him up and was just like, "Oh, you're so handsome. I'm gonna give you for free. You get for your free girlfriend. She's lucky. You're so handsome."
And she specifically said, "Make sure you tell her because you're so good looking. You got a discount." Now explain
that your good looks finally paid off.
Explain the what does a woman look like?
Old.
Like 90.
Like short and old.
Should not have been giving me discounts for...
No.
And there was
Would that make it worse or better? Or?
And there was a young lady dressed as a dirty old skank next to me looking at necklaces. And when that lady said that, she looked at me and was like, "Yeah, you are." And then she tried to get with me.
Okay.
That happened too.
Okay.
So you should be jealous and want to touch me or something. Mindy, when are you gonna go to a convention with us?
Yeah, I told you I can now. I mean, after January.
So you can't.
I mean, I can take long weekends if I want. I mean,
So-
it's for my...
So real quick, the other day you guys were having like a class thing right inside. You had to know the urge that I had to fight to just open up the door and walk in and be like, "So who ordered the stripper?" and just start like taking off clothes and.
That would have been great!
Let me end this episode. Nobody knows what we're talking about at this point. We have drank a lot of brewskis. Mindy made an obscene gesture with her tongue.
Yeah.
Spencer found it humorous.
Where do I learn that?
Yours was a lot lazier and somehow like more weird than just like the steady, just like. You was like.
Okay.
I am
Continue.
appalled by the behavior I see before me. This is a family podcast.
You started this.
Yeah, you did.
Even Spencer had a couple big years.
Yeah.
You know what? If you folks would like to tell us that you love us and want to donate $500 to the podcast, you don't have to, but
It'd be nice.
It'd be awesome.
It would be
You
appreciated.
go to drunkenpenwriting.com. Hit us up on Twitter at drunkpenwriting, or go to drunkenpenwriting on Instagram and Facebook. We post things that people like, and sometimes we even write stories.
I mean,
Not lately. So you could do that, and we're going to go drink more brewskis. Have a good night,
Bye.
afternoon, morning, evening. Say goodbye, Mindy.
Bye.
Bye. Penis.